just wanted to make a video about the study guide for your test that's coming up for Chapter 3. Just go through real quick. All this stuff is really good. It's definitely going to be on the test. Ghana, Mali, and Songhai dominate West Africa from, this is what you need to know. First of all, you need to know their names, but from 300 to 1600. Ghana, Mali, and Songhai were located in the western region of Africa, south of the Sahara Desert, near the Niger River. Ghana, Mali, and Songhai became powerful by controlling trade in West Africa. Remember, they had all the good stuff. They had the gold and the salt. And then the Portuguese uh, brought them metals, cloth, and other manufactured goods for trade for that gold and salt. This would be great for flashcards. Um, I don't know how many flashcards you want to use, but you can make one flashcard for motivations exploration and put this on the other side. I would probably use to find gold natural resource on one side and then motivation for exploration on the other, and then that way you could do it. But you could do it either way. Anyway, motivations for exploration, find gold, natural resources, trade. So it was economic, religious, so they could spread their religion, and competition. This is the gold, God, and glory part. Glory, competition for empire and belief in superiority of one's culture. They believed that they were the better ones, they were the better country, and so they wanted to make their empire bigger and more powerful. Obstacles, the poor maps and navigational tools, disease and starvation, fear of the unknown, lack of adequate supplies. That's your obstacles. Results, this is what happened as a result of the exploration. These were their benefits, their accomplishments. They exchanged goods and ideas, which was really the whole point. Improved navigational tools and ships, which was a necessity in order to do exploration. And then claim new territories, and that goes along with making their empire bigger. Interactions between American Indians and Europeans sometimes led to cooperation, other times resulted in conflict. Here are the areas of cooperation. The Europeans brought weapons and metal farm tools. This is something that the Indians really, really liked. They would trade them. And then they would exchange crops, as we saw in the Columbian Exchange, all those different foods and animals that went over from one continent to the other. Areas of conflict, land. The Europeans believed that land was to be owned, and they would mark it off and fence off and wall off their land and keep the Indians out, and the Indians didn't like that. Competition for trade, of course. So anytime that one country would want to trade with the Indians and another one wanted that trade, there'd be competition there. And same thing with the Indians. They would have to compete with the Europeans. Differences in cultures. So obviously the misunderstanding about land. The Indians believed that land should be shared and not owned, and the Europeans didn't agree with it. But there are other cultural differences. Just think about when you meet a new person. You may make a joke that they may not find funny. In fact, they might find offensive. Um, same kind of deal here. The Europeans would offend the Indians by doing something that they thought was wrong, and vice versa. Diseases. Um, this would be a real problem for the American Indians as the Europeans brought over their diseases. And then language differences, of course. They had to learn each other's language. And even when you do, you might say the wrong word, and that becomes a problem. Cultural interaction. Here are the Spanish. The Spanish are known as the conquistadors. They conquered. That's what conquistador is the conquerors. Conquered and enslaved American Indians. They brought Christianity to the New World. That was something they wanted to spread their religion. They did it in a not very nice manner. Established missions. These are the schools. Missions is kind of like a school church that they use to teach the Indians about Christianity. They also spread diseases to the American Indians, and that was something that they didn't even know they were doing. The French established trading posts. They're the traders, remember? And like the Spanish, they wanted to spread their Christian religion to the Indians. It was very important to them that, and they had a unified religion just like Spain. The English didn't have that, so they're known as the settlers. They rather make settlements on American Indian land and claimed ownership of the land. This is where the whole thing about Indians believing that land should be shared and not owned. So they really had no defense at first against the claims of the English, and that misunderstanding would lead to a lot of tragedy. They learned farming techniques from the American Indians. Remember Squanto traded with the American Indians, much like the French. But of course, with that conflict here, it would start souring this relationship, unlike the French, who didn't do these things. American Indians taught farming techniques to European settlers, like you see here with the English, and believed that land was to be used and shared, but not owned. Remember that. Okay, so the Spanish, when we're talking about America, Spanish would be out here in the southwest. The French would be right through here by the St. Lawrence River and the Mississippi Valley area and the Great Lakes area through Champlain, which was up here in Quebec, and then LaSalle over here by Mississippi River. John Cabot will be Eastern Canada, and they really should be more over here. Newfoundland is in this area, but he was English. And that's it. So study that up, and I think you'll do very well on the test. I always recommend making flashcards, but this really breaks down the information of the chapter very well for you.